I'm gonna give you one very basic pass to get us into this side control position that we're trying to work from. So the idea is I'm circling, right? Maybe I'm kind of messing with his hand, messing with his head. I scoop his legs. Most times he's gonna want to try to come back up and catch my leg, right? So I could wait for that and then start working more like knee slides or knee cuts. But I'm gonna try to be before even that happens. So when I scoop, right away I'm gonna go, both hands are gonna catch the back of his knees like this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push one leg down and the other leg's gonna come on my shoulder like this. Okay, now from here I'm gonna drive his knee into his face and then just walk my legs around and get under his head and under his arm, head and arm, in the side control. Very basic, simple drill. He sits up, I circle. I scoop. Both hands go here, one foot is in front of the other. Now what I recommend, the foot that's in front, I'm gonna push his leg to the other side and get an underhook on that side. Drive forward, walk my legs around, and try to get my knee high under his armpit. One under the head, one under the arm, and now I'm in my side control, which is where we're working from. So, last time. One foot in front, right? Push the knee down, underhook, grab the far hip. Shoulders okay, I prefer the hip. Drive, turn the corner. When you go to grab the head, be careful of going this direction. I recommend air guitaring under. You can go here, or sometimes you'll end up here. And then side control. Then we're gonna work from here. Any questions? Underhook pass, single underhook pass. 1, 2, 3, let's go. When I come in, I scoop, and I step in, I get my attachment, and I go for the pass. In a perfect world, he lays flat on his back, and I'm able to establish side control. Once I establish side control, I want one of two things on this arm. I want to be under this arm, or I want to be over this arm. Right? We talked about being over the arm all week, last week and this week. But again, under the arm is just meaning like his forearm cannot be framing against my hip. My hip is lower than his elbow, so right in his tricep. So that frame is no longer useful. So you can find yourself there, or again, if he's doing a good job reframing, recircle over, humble your leg over, or winch wiper. Now from this position, what I want to do is stay heavy. I'm going to take this arm and I'm going to grab the bicep of his arm and I'm going to pull my elbow in. Once I get this connection, my shoulder's down, I'm going to move my arm and push his hand down to the mat. Once I get to here, I'm going to shoot my left arm in tight and grab my watch. Now here's where most people make mistakes on this move called Americana or branch up. They allow the person to rotate their thumb into them so it's not affecting his shoulder. So internal rotation, external rotation. I want to have external rotation so his pinky's on the mat. If he turns his thumb down, he's going to be able to muscle out or bridge out of it. Maybe not Coach Blake because he's got tight shoulders, but the rest of us will be able to. But what I want to do is I want to externally rotate. I want to keep my head down tight to keep that lock in. Right now, I can already feel the tension in his shoulder.
Me too.
Me too. Here's the second mistake people make. They start raising the arm too soon. What I want to do is paint the mat down and then raise the elbow up. In my opinion, the arm should not go higher than 2 or 3 inches off the mat before the person finishes. If it starts raising higher than it, that means that you've lost connection to the mat here, or you haven't externally rotated the arm enough. So the idea behind this is that when I've done my pass, I've established good side control. I'm going to decide if I'm deep enough under this arm to start working on this arm, or if he's framing really well to get rid of this. And now I can start working on pulling in like tight, shoulder down pressure. Allows me now to grab here. From here, I'm going to push his watch to the mat and shoot my arm in deep. Externally rotating the pinky down. Head goes down to support the lock, and then just paint the mat and slowly raise up the elbow. It doesn't matter how flexible you are. If you get this arm locked, his shoulder blade is like a ball and it's full of tension. And the minute that I start raising this up, it's like the ball is gonna explode. And that's what jiu-jitsu is all about. Tight explosions. Americana. Super slow. Kept hearing Coach Ilya say this when you guys were passing. right? When I'm doing this, this isn't me going, whoa, super fast. It's about me taking my time and making him uncomfortable. I go to this. Man, I'm making this position really uncomfortable. Slow and steady. Where we tend to make mistakes and we're like, oh man, yeah, and then he's out because I've rushed my position. What's up, dude?
So is your knees under kind of shoulder, right? Behind you?
This one?
Yeah.
So you have two options. You can be under the arm if it's deep enough.
Now, by doing that, because I've been in a situation where people somehow, I'm light, so like they freakishly bridge, where like I'm trying to put my weight down, they're not going back down, and I was taught to put your knee on their belly and put it back down. So like by putting your knee behind them, is that keeping them from bridging because you can't bridge anything?
So you're asking me about
like
me?
If Blake was to freakishly just bridge right now to like offset his chest backwards, so you're not torquing as hard.
Okay, so there's counters for a lot of things, right? Marcelo Garcia is really good at this. He puts his arm in and he straightens his arm out like this, right?
Okay.
So if I feel like that he's doing that, go ahead, push. And I just transition to the next move. But it's just like driving the car at the end of the dead end.
Yeah.
I'm making the dead end, giving him only one or two options. Tap, right? Or push. When he pushes, I can try to work on changing the angle and finishing it. But if he's deep and his arm's straight, I've already lost that, right? And that's when I would have to go to the next thing.
Got it.
Or push him in.
All right.
Disengage and start working to the back. Okay? Good question. Anybody else? Good? 1, 2, 3. So now, based on how skilled he is or how tight I am on my movement, in a perfect world, I get a tight grip and I get my knee in and I end up in a perfect side control position and I can work on my arm attacks here. Sometimes, as I'm going to pass, this is good for the person on the bottom too. We've talked about this in the past. Don't let the person open your guard, open your own guard first. Same thing with passing, don't let them pass your guard. Kind of accept the pass early phase so then you can start escaping sooner or getting back ahead of the race. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, I go on my legs and what Coach Blake just puts his feet on the mat and starts shrimping to me. Shrimp to me, man. So like, yeah. Yes. You guys know what I'm talking about? Right? So again, let me just give you all three scenarios potentially, right? I get good side control. He turns back into me. Or he rolls away from me. Say fair enough, right? Those are the three basic responses he can have. Yes, there's a few other, but let's just say fundamentally speaking. So thus far, we've done I got good side control, and I've got my top position. I went for my Americana because it's there. Again, there's many options. Now we're gonna talk about, is he got ahead of me, he kind of just threw his leg pass and I already started shrimping his butt away and getting his underhook here. Or framing first, and then dunk his underhook, boom. Make sense, everybody? Okay, so there's a lot of things that I can do here. I can whizzer, I can start working my front headlock series we worked on a couple weeks ago. I can work on my top spin or back step or perimeter drill. Or, if he gets the underhook, what I can do is switch to reverse Casey Katami, which is what we've been working on. So he gets the underhook, what I'm gonna do is grab, block his hip, and then switch my hips into his legs. So now I'm facing his legs. Make sense, everybody? From this position, I'm gonna walk my hips back on his face. From here, I'm gonna meet both hands up halfway, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push his arm down, switching my hips. Both elbows down, and then I can rock up in Kimura. Nice here. Or I can bring my knee, step over the head, pull him up on his side, lift, and finish. Okay? So from the pass, in a perfect world, we did a perfect pass, but maybe we got sloppy. He starts shrimping and getting his underhook, crap. Before he starts coming up on the elbow, block, switch my hips, get heavy on the head. Figure 4, switch my hips, Kimura, or walk your knee up, or he catches like inside thigh, whatever. Bring your knee up, step over the head, finish this way, both knees on the mat, or we talked about getting your leg under his arm. Chest down, pull up together, turn the Kimura. So one more time on this drill. I lifted, I went for the pass, but he beat me to it. Whizzer, block, switch your hips. Heavy on the head pressure, elbow, arm. So I'm meeting both arms together. From here, I switch my hips, finishing them, Or if he's doing a good job defending, or I just don't feel like I can break the plane of his hand, bring my knee up high, step over the head, weight transfer him back on his side, release to the mat. Chest down, lift, and turn the lock. We love that one. Just combining things we've already done for the last couple weeks into some passing now, more of real life scenarios. Okay? 1, 2, 3.